Have you ever noticed that some foods just aren't the same after being frozen? That's not your imagination. Freezing can dramatically change the texture of what you eat. The culprit? Ice crystals. When water inside food freezes, it expands and forms sharp crystals that can puncture cell walls. This microscopic damage is why your once crisp veggies or juicy fruits often come out limp or mushy after thawing. Let's talk about fruits. When you freeze something like a peach or a berry, the water inside its cells turns to ice. These ice crystals grow larger the slower the freezing process, rupturing the delicate cell walls. That's why thawed fruit often leaks juice and feels soft or even slimy. Quick freezing, like flash freezing, creates smaller crystals and helps preserve more of the original texture. Vegetables face a similar fate, but there's a trick: blanching. Before freezing, many vegetables are briefly boiled and then cooled. This process deactivates enzymes that would otherwise break down texture and color during freezing. Still, even with blanching, ice crystals can cause some cell damage, so don't expect your frozen broccoli to have the same snap as fresh, but it'll be much better than unblanched. Bread and baked goods are a whole different story. When you freeze bread, the water in the starches forms ice, which can disrupt the structure. Upon thawing, this leads to a crumbly or dry texture. The trick to minimizing this? Freeze bread while it's still fresh and wrap it tightly to prevent moisture loss. Reheating in the oven can also help revive some of that original softness. Meat and seafood are also affected by freezing, but in a slightly different way. The muscle fibers in meat contain water, which forms ice crystals during freezing. Slow freezing creates larger crystals that can tear the fibers, resulting in a drier, tougher texture after cooking. That's why commercial operations use blast freezers to lock in juiciness, while home freezers often leave steaks a bit less tender. Dairy products like cheese and yogurt don't always fare well in the freezer. The water in these foods separates from the fats and proteins, leading to a grainy or curdled texture once thawed. Hard cheeses handle freezing better than soft ones, but even then, expect some change. If you're freezing dairy, plan to use it in cooked dishes where texture matters less, like casseroles or sauces. So, can you outsmart the freezer? Absolutely. Freeze foods quickly, use airtight packaging, and don't expect miracles. Some texture changes are inevitable. But with a little know-how, you can preserve more of that fresh taste and feel. Next time you open your freezer, you'll know exactly what's happening inside your food and how to make the most of it.